It's that time of the week again, you guys. Ridgecore's back for week two preview. Eastridge versus Leesburg this Friday at 7 p.m. Me and Connor are right here with the game preview. Connor, how are we feeling about this matchup going into Friday night after the Knights just beat South Lake last week with the final score 24-7?
I mean, momentum is on our side. I'm going to save my score prediction and how I feel about the game later. But I mean, you know how I feel about this game. I mean, Eastridge going in strong. Leesburg is not. So I'll just start with that and I'll let the show go.
Got a great show for you guys today, but first we need to start off with something important here, and it is that the injury status of Karan Palmer last week on Friday. He did suffer a head injury in one of the plays midway through the third quarter, forcing sophomore quarterback Liam Marks to come into the game. He closed it out. It's not an impressive stat line, but it didn't really matter in the end. He was able to be on the field for a touchdown with Noah Russell. But he's going into this game this week after having a spectacular game, JV wise, versus South Lake on Thursday. And he will not be starting this Thursday for JV against Eustis. He will be more focused on the varsity. And of course, we attended the Eastridge practice today, and Liam Marks looks fairly accurate. Uh, there's a slight problem with running through the progressions. But other than that, he throws an accurate ball. He anticipates good routes. He was able to get a lot of good stuff off this practice, and I have the utmost confidence in Money Marks is his nickname.
Yeah, exactly. And this is really the week for this to happen. I mean, this is probably the best time that could have happened. Going into a slightly easier matchup where Marks can probably still be a decisive leader, similar to the level of Karan Palmer, especially strength of opponent, for sure. And you got all those pieces around you as well.
Ron Palmer says that he will definitely be ready for the Lake Mineola game on September 4th. He's ready for that heated reunion. But for right now, it'll be Liam Marks taking the snaps and calling the plays. We need to talk about this outstanding Eastridge defense, who last week held Trey Kelly to only 7 completions on 16 attempts, 2 sacks, and 2 interceptions. And it is a part of the squad that goes over people's heads, and it shouldn't.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, it went over my head because before the season, I was talking about how I needed to see improvements in this defense. I really wanted to see improvements in this defense. And you look at it last year, this was an offense that was based on the air attack and a pretty decent amount of running, but mainly that air attack, and the defense was one of the weak points. But after week one, from what I saw, it's the opposite. It's the defense that's the one that's leading the way. There are 2 interceptions on one of the best quarterbacks in the state, and not as productive day offensively, but we're still able to get the job done.
What's not to like about this Eastridge defense? Between Lamar Garrison, Messiah Bailey at safety, Davis Sukora, the senior, who has been playing outstanding, Braden Dingman, who's been contributing, the entire squad. Tavares Love uh, is also a huge element of this Eastridge defense, and they're on lockdown for a Leesburg offense that struggled versus Eustis. This is going to be the part of the game that's going to get it done on Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be both sides, to be honest. I think that are going to show their absolute best qualities, I think, come Friday.
And speaking of Leesburg, Leesburg last Friday versus the Eustis Panthers at home gets blown out 40-22. This offense with 2 sophomore quarterbacks, and they use both. The first one, Brennan Larico, had a game to forget Friday, going 4 for 17 and 65 yards. He did have 1 touchdown, but he had an interception and a fumble. On the other hand, you do have Joseon Johnson, who went 8 for 14 and had a touchdown. He is also a very dangerous dual threat quarterback. I won't be surprised if he's going to get the start versus Eastridge, depending on how confident this Leesburg head coach is in Brennan Larico getting the start like he did last week.
Yeah, and I honestly think a good comparison of this is what's happening in preseason NFL right now. It's just trying to figure out, because they're both sophomores, they're both the same year, same experience. I think it's just that game was kind of just figure out, okay, who's going to be the main guy. come next week when we play Eastridge, who's going to be the guy that'll lead the way. So that way, we can just have everything kind of figured out because they're still kind of in a figuring out things phase. They're 483rd in the state. They're just trying to get their stuff together and the season out on a good note.
We talked with other Eastridge defensive players. For one, my man Tank Peters, Isaac Peters, who plays safety, he's going to get the start this Friday at safety. He did talk about Josian Johnson and how he's not very hesitant to take off. He'll get up there and run. And like you said last week about Trey Kelly, it's not if he gets away, it's when he gets away. But the Knights do a really good job at covering that and containing dual threat quarterbacks such as Trey Kelly, such as Jeremiah Latier. Uh, and it's going to be the same with Josian Johnson this week versus Leesburg. And I'm sure we can cover him very well.
Oh yes, 100%. I think we can do a really good job with it. And I mean, it was definitely a matter of when because Trey Kelly was able to sneak in a rushing touchdown, had 55 rushing yards. So he definitely had his big moments, but it was really only limited to those very minuscule amount. And I mean, with Jeremiah in the preseason game, he couldn't do anything with that defense with the way they were playing. I think that this defense has got this man blanketed.
Let's take a second to talk about this Eastridge Knights offense. The Knights offense looks dangerous again this year. Let's take, for example, last week, BNDS Dos Santos with a rush touchdown in the first quarter. In the second quarter, we got Duke Lamar Garrison who had a Wildcat touchdown on the 4th down and 1 in the second quarter. And then, of course, to seal the game, wide receiver Noah Russell was able to get it done on a jet sweep. You can say that the offense is quiet, but you do still have to take into account it was 103rd, what was it, 143rd in the entire state of Florida South Lake defense. Of course, you're gonna have your struggles there, but it's gonna show. Like Jordan Butler, he stayed quiet that game, but this is what I'm gonna say about this Eastridge offense is that it's just like Coach Birchfield said in the offseason, it's a more balanced team. So you're not gonna get one key contributor like Lamar Garrison or Jordan Butler to sort of carry your offense. It's everybody that's getting an equal share, and they have facilitators like Karan Palmer. We're going to have the facilitators in the offensive line. It's just that everybody on this offense, even to Tyler Burst, Zion Tabron, Davis Sikora is also out there playing tight end sometimes. Everybody on this offense is going to have an equal share of contribution to help this Knights team win each and every week. So the offense is a complete team effort. There's no one superstar on the team because you don't need to have a one superstar on the team to succeed. You just need all 11 guys to do their job. And I think that's what head coach Donnie Birchfield does so well with this offense is managing the 11-man game, not just the wide receiver core like last year. It's a full team effort for this offense.
Yeah, and that is exactly right. And I mean, we saw it. We saw a balanced offense on display there because, as you mentioned, with those touchdowns, they were all rushing touchdowns, but they're all very different. The Dos Santos touchdown was vastly different from a Wildcat, and that was very different from a jet sweep. Every touchdown was different, and you don't really know what to expect until you're there.
Let's talk about the NDS real quick. Dos Santos, the entire running back room between Darrell Ellis, Brian Nevis, Dos Santos. Even let's even talk about Caleb Madera, who had an outstanding practice today and two explosive runs in the run throughs. How about Caleb Madera, who is a burst of speed? He is the embodiment of an anvil on wheels. Caleb Madera, expect his name to be called very frequently for the next 2 weeks against teams like Leesburg and Lake Minneola.
Yeah, and it is a real shame because his best years, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see because we'll be gone at college wherever we are. But I mean, he shows absolutely unbelievable promise, and the fact that he is third or fourth on the depth chart for running backs, I think is just shows how unbelievable this running back room is for Eastridge.
You can apply the same thing to even this wide receiver room you get between Lamar Garrison and Jordan Butler. You still got Noah Russell and Tyler Burst. This is an entire room of playmakers. And like I said, everybody gets a slice of pie here. Nobody's getting a bigger slice than the other. Everybody is equal in terms of production. I think that's the best way that you can summarize it as an Eastridge spectator or an Eastridge player or coach or coach, I have full confidence in this offense still going into the game versus Leesburg. And speaking of this game versus Leesburg, it's time for our scoring predictions. Connor, we'll go with you first. Leesburg 0-1, just coming off a loss versus Eustis, a tremendous loss versus Eustis. Who do you got this Friday at 7 p.m. in the dungeon?
Everything has gone right for us over the past week or so. Beat our rivals from across the road. Everything's gone wrong for Leesburg. This is just a big fat cupcake game here for the East Ridge Knights here. 49-0.
I mean, that's a very generous score for Eastridge, and I don't blame you at all. You can't go into week one receiving all of this new talent going into Leesburg High School and then getting blown out at home by Eustis. Yeah, it gives me no confidence in what Leesburg. I expected what I expected Leesburg to do this season. I expected them to finish in the top 200. They just dropped down to below the 400s after the loss versus Eustis. This Knights offense, the Knights squad is definitely better than it was last year. We can definitely do better things than we have over the past couple of years. And I believe it's can be dictated by how good its defense is and by how good the running game is. I want the Knights 50-10 against Leesburg.
Wow. Wow. Overall, I think that those are two very realistic scores here. I think no matter what, they're scoring in the 40s, regardless of who's playing at quarterback and who's starting.
Keep in mind, Karan Palmer is iffy going into this week. So the chance that he is playing on Friday is not out the window. It's a very slim chance, but as of right now, Liam Marks is the starter, and I have full confidence in Liam Marks. But this shouldn't discourage you guys at all of our viewers at home. Please come out to the dungeon for this Lake County matchup. And because we got three Lake County matchups to start off, South Lake we've already won, Leesburg, and then we got Lake Minneola next Friday at Lake Minneola in terms of attendance, it's mandatory. And for Friday, your attendance is also encouraged, somewhat mandatory. But other than that, it's been a great episode. We got our game preview done and ready for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Rich Core with our week 2 Eastridge versus Leesburg preview. We'll see you guys on Friday at 7.